Okay, so in today's session, I want us to work on finding the equations of hyperbolas, and the hyperbolas that we are dealing with are hyperbolas that have have only experienced the vertical shift, so there's no horizontal shifting. So in other words, the hyperbolas that we are dealing with are hyperbolas of this form: y is equal to a over x plus q. Okay, so these are the hyperbolas that we are dealing with. Now we wanna determine the equation of these hyperbolas. Now let's start with number one. In number one, we can clearly see that we are given the equation of the asymptote to be y is equal to 2. Now, this is good news because we can use this to our advantage. We know that y is equal to a over x plus q. And then because y is equal to 2 is the asymptote, we know that the horizontal asymptote is basically the value of q. So we can just say plus 2 like this. Okay. And then we are also given a point. Okay, so we are given an x-intercept that when y is equal to 0, x is equal to 2. Okay, so basically what we can do, or what we will do, is we will take the coordinates of this point, we'll plug it into this equation, and then we can use that to get the value of a. Let's do that. Now, plugging in this point, we know that at this point y is equal to 0, and then we know that x is equal to 2. Okay, so what will happen is that the 2 will go to the other side and then it will become minus 2. Okay, so if that happens, we have minus 2 is equal to a over 2, and then to get the value of 2 we have to get the value of a, we have to multiply by 2 on both sides, and then if that's the case we get minus 4 is equal to the value of a. Okay, so a is equal to minus 4, and this is is good news because we can see that our graph lies in the second and in the fourth quadrant. So we were expecting the value of a to be a negative value. Okay, and we can see that indeed a is equal to negative 4. And then with this being said, we can write the equation of the above hyperbola and say that y is equal to negative 4 over x plus 2. Okay, so this is the equation of this graph. Okay, now let's shift our attention to this graph. Okay, now this is a very interesting scenario because we are not given the equation of the asymptote. Okay, so we have to find the value of a and we have to find the value of q. Okay, but then we are given 2 points on our graphs, so we can use those 2 points to determine these two values. Okay, so we know that this graph is given by this equation: y is equal to a over x plus q. Okay, so what we can do is we can consider this point and set up an equation related to this point, and then we can consider that point, set up another equation related to this point, and then we will have two equations with two unknowns, a and q, and then we can solve simultaneously for a and q. Okay, let's get that done. Now, considering this point, we see that y is equal to 5, okay, and then x is equal to minus 2, okay, so this is that. And then if we consider, so we can call this equation 1, and then if we consider this point, we see that y is minus 6, okay, and then we have a over x, but then a is x is equal to 1, so it will just be a over 1, which is just a. Okay, so So this will be a plus q. Okay, so this is equation 2. All right. Now, what we can do is I can manipulate equation 2 by taking a to the other side and making q the subject. Let me do that. So it will be -6. If a goes this side, it will become minus a. Okay. And then this is equal to positive q. So this is the new version of equation 2. Now, what I will do is I will take this expression, the expression for Q, and it, I will substitute it in equation 1. Okay, so that is what we do. Let's do that. So equation 1 is 5 is equal to a over minus 2 plus q. Now q is the same as -6 minus a. Okay, now this is equation 2 in equation 1. All right, and then we can continue with our math. We see, we can find that it will be 5, and then this is a -a over 2, and then minus a. Okay, minus 6. Now I can take 6 to the other side to become positive 6. Now I will have 5 plus 6, which will give me 11. And then on this side, I have minus half a minus a. Now a half plus 1, that is 3 over 2. And negative a half minus 1, that will give us negative 3 over 2. Okay, so this is negative 3 over 2 times a, and then this is equal to 11. Okay, so if I want to determine the value of a, I must divide by -3 over 2 on both sides. So let's do that. So it will be 11 divided by -3 over 2. Okay, so this is the value of a. And then if I simplify this side, I get that this can actually change to, if I change the division to a multiplication, then what will happen is the the fraction that comes after that change will be swapped. Okay, so I will have 2 over 3 instead of 3 over 2. Okay, so this is equal to the value of a. And then 11 times 2, that will give us 22. So we have -22 over 3. This is the value of a. Now we see that our graph is in the second and fourth quadrant, and because of this we were expecting the a value to be negative, and we can see that the a value is negative. Now how do we get the value of q? We go back to this our equation, this one. We go to this our equation, and then we plug in the value of a that we have determined to get the value of q. So we saw that -6 minus a will give us the value of q. Now we have the value of a. Okay, so -6 minus 22 over 3. This will give us the value of q. Okay, so if I work this out, so it will be -6 plus 22 over 3, which is equal to q. Now, if I work this out manually, 6 times 3, that will give us 18. So 6 can be written as -6 can be written as -18 divided by 3, okay, plus 22 divided by 3 is equal to q. And then we can say that -18 plus positive 22, that will give us positive 4. Okay, so we'll end up with 4 over 3 is equal to q. Okay, so q is equal to positive 4 over 3. Okay, so this is the value of q. And by the way, you can just, if you prefer, you can just plug all of this into your calculator at this stage, and by that you can find the value of q. I just like working with fractions like this. Okay, so this is just my preference. But then to to prevent unnecessary errors as well, it is highly advisable for you to just use your calculators at this stage, especially under pressure situations like in tests or in exams. It is better for you to use your calculators. Okay, so the q value is positive 4 over 3. Now we have the value of q, so we can just write our equation. So it will be y is equal to, the a value is negative 22 over 3, so we have negative 22 over 3x. Okay, and then this is plus 4 over 3. Okay, so this is the equation of the